Military commander grants Jungkook BTS emergency break after shocking family visit. What did his parents say that left him shaking? Why did Jungkook BTS suddenly fall silent? What really happened behind those military gates that left even his commanding officers in disbelief? Did a simple family visit unravel something deeper in Jungkook's heart that he had been hiding for months? Camp silence. Heavy air. All eyes were on Jungkook, the golden magne of BTS, the idol who seemed unbreakable, the soldier who had been an example of physical strength, discipline, and resilience throughout his military service. Yet on that particular day, everything changed. Jungkook had just finished morning drills, sweat still dripping from his temple, when the base guards informed him of unexpected visitors. No prior notice, no formal letter, just a quiet message from the gate. Your parents are here. No one expected what would unfold next. A visit unlike any other military family visits are usually formal, short, and structured. But this one spiraled into something emotional, deeply personal, and disturbingly raw. Witnesses described a strange shift in Jungkook's demeanor the moment he spotted his mother's silhouette from afar. His proud stance suddenly dropped. His breath hitched. He froze for a moment, said one fellow soldier who stood nearby. It was like he didn't know whether to run to them or run away. When Jungkook finally walked toward his parents, what began as a soft embrace quickly turned into a scene no one expected. Cameras were off. Media wasn't present. But the soldiers around couldn't help but remember the details because the image was impossible to forget. He just broke, another soldier whispered. Right there, in uniform, head down, shoulders shaking, like the world had cracked open. The whisper that broke him, no one knows exactly what was said. But sources close to the inner circle of Jungkook's division reported one crucial moment that still haunts everyone who heard it. Jungkook's mother, known to be gentle but deeply emotional, was seen holding his face with both hands. She whispered something into his ear. Seconds later, Jungkook stumbled backward, eyes wide, lips trembling. His father reached for his hand, but Jungkook turned away. It wasn't anger. It was pain. Pure, unfiltered, emotional devastation. What did she say? Why did it shake Jungkook to his core? Some speculate the words carried news from home. Others believe it was a reflection of Jungkook's inner fatigue, perhaps a message like, you don't have to be strong all the time, or you can come home if you want. But whatever it wasn't something Jungkook was prepared for. Commanders intervene. Emergency break approved within an hour of the visit. Jungkook was called into the central command tent. His appearance had changed, his usually sharp jawline quivering, his eyes red but dry, and a sense of heaviness trailing him like a storm cloud. The commander, reportedly a stern and experienced officer, looked at Jungkook in silence for a few seconds before quietly saying, Soldier John Jungkook, take 48 hours. Rest. Clear your mind. For an idol known for never asking for time off, this was unprecedented. Jungkook didn't argue. He nodded once, saluted, and walked away. Word spread like wildfire among the ranks. Some said Jungkook was later seen sitting alone under a tree, eyes closed, lips moving, perhaps praying, perhaps reflecting. One officer later shared anonymously. We've seen soldiers break before, but not like this. Not someone like him. Not the guy who always had his head high and pushed others forward. Something inside him cracked that day. Is Jungkook okay? That's the question echoing across fan circles, military forums, and social media. Videos of his return to training days later showed a noticeably quieter Jungkook. He still trained hard, still completed every mission, but his energy had changed, and no more playful smiles. No more banter with fellow soldiers. Just calm, precise, and different. He's still brilliant, one teammate said. But it's like he left a part of himself back at that family visit, and fans around the world noticed. Hashtags like #WeLoveYouJungkook, #StayStrongJK, and #ComeBackWhenYou're Ready began trending. Messages of love poured in from armies across the globe, urging him to take the time he needed, but Jungkook remained silent. No statements, no explanations, just training, just duty. The bigger question, what's next? As speculation continues, many wonder whether this emotional shock could affect Jungkook's future decisions, both in the military and with BTS. Will he extend his break? Will he choose to stay under the radar for a while, even after discharge? Or was this the beginning of a deeper transformation for the idol who's always worn strength like armor? One military psychologist, after hearing the reports, shared this insight. Sometimes, the strongest soldiers are the ones who've been hiding their pain the longest. And when someone they love gives them permission to break down, they do. Whatever happened during that visit, one thing is certain. Jungkook is not made of steel. He is human. He bleeds. He feels. He breaks. And in that vulnerability, he has only become more real, more relatable, and even more loved. We may never know what his mother whispered that day, but we know it mattered. It hit home. And maybe, just maybe, it was the beginning of healing, not just for Jungkook, but for anyone who has ever carried too much weight on their shoulders and finally let it go. Jungkook's silent tears echo beyond the barracks. What happened when BTS found out? Was it just a moment of weakness? Or the tipping point of everything Jungkook had been holding in for 18 long months? As the world waits, another question looms larger. How did BTS react when the news reached them, the quiet after the storm? The air inside Jungkook's base returned to routine, morning drills, meal calls, and rifle training. Yet something had undeniably shifted. The once lively Jungkook, who lifted spirits even during grueling marches, had retreated behind a wall no one seemed able to scale. He returned to his duties 48 hours after the visit from his parents.
No plans.
No questions. But also, no words. He didn't speak of what happened. He didn't even mention the break. But the unspoken weight hung visibly on his frame. Whispers through the wire. The moment BTS found out, it didn't take long for word of Jungkook's emotional break to reach the other members of BTS. Despite being scattered across different military divisions, or in Jin's case, recently discharged, BTS members have always remained spiritually connected, and it was Jin who heard it first. According to a source from the ROKA, Republic of Korea Army, Jin received a quiet message from a junior officer who witnessed Jungkook's moment. The words were minimal but carried weight. "Something broke in him today," he cried. It wasn't like him. Jin, who had always carried the older brother role for the group, reportedly froze upon hearing the news. Without hesitation, he placed a call to his contacts at Jungkook's base, not to interfere but to check in, and then he waited. Later that night, he sent a simple message to the BTS group chat. "We're always here. You're never alone." No response came immediately, but it didn't need to. Jimin, serving in another unit, reportedly requested permission to send a handwritten letter to Jungkook, a rare gesture in an era dominated by digital connection, but one that carries deep personal value during service. RM, known for his introspective soul, penned a poem and submitted it through official correspondence channels. Suga, who had just completed his service, allegedly reached out to Jungkook's father directly, offering his support. Each member, one by one, stepped in silently, gently, just as Jungkook had always done for them. A small package, a big reaction on the 5th day following the visit. Jungkook received a sealed military-approved care package. Inside were photos from their early BTS days, a dog tag chain engraved with "You Are Loved," and a folded note in RM's familiar handwriting to Soldier, who witnessed Jungkook open it, described the moment. He just stared at it for a while. No tears this time, just silence. Then he smiled just a little. That was the first smile we'd seen since the visit. Fans react. "He carried us. Now it's time we carry him." When the news of Jungkook's break reached the public, despite no official statement, armies mobilized with emotional intensity. Hashtags flooded Twitter. Hashtag protect Jungkook, hashtag you are not alone JK, hashtag come back stronger. Fans from South Korea, the US, Indonesia, Brazil, and Europe organized digital campaigns, not only to show support but to encourage the military to continue treating idols like Jungkook with mental health care and empathy. One fan wrote on Weverse, "We watched him be strong for so long. He never let us see his pain. But this was real, and we love him even more for it." Another went viral with, "When the strongest fall, it's our turn to be the shoulder. Jungkook, lean on us now." The rumored follow-up visit, a family reunion or reconciliation, reports emerged that Jungkook's mother had requested a second visit, one approved by the base for a much later date. Speculation ran wild. Was she coming back to apologize for saying something painful? Or was she simply missing her son and needed closure? Military insiders remain quiet. But one voice, Jungkook's commanding officer, shared this insight. Sometimes parents say what they think will help. But with sons like Jungkook, sons who carry the weight of the world, words hit deeper. Maybe this next visit will heal what the first one opened. The song he whispered alone at midnight, what truly confirmed to fans that Jungkook was still processing his emotions, came from a soldier who had guard duty near the backfields of the base one night. He heard humming.
Soft.
Familiar, and then words. It was Jungkook, sitting alone on a crate beneath the moon. He was singing to himself, his voice barely above a whisper. The melody? Still with you. The same song he wrote for armies during the pandemic. But this time, it wasn't just for them. It was for him. This the moment that redefines Jungkook forever. The military, often a place of harsh discipline, had become a crucible of transformation for Jungkook. He entered it as the world's most beloved golden magne, but he may leave it different, not broken, not lost, but deeper, more human, more real. This moment of emotional collapse may be the beginning of a new Jungkook, one who no longer hides his emotions, one who leans into vulnerability as a form of power.